Philadelphia is officially back in the title mix. Welcome back to the channel. And here we have it. They finally made a move at the deadline. And let's rewind a few months just back to the beginning of the year. So they came into the season with a very promising team with an emerging Ben Simmons, who was the Rookie of the Year, and an all-star center in Joel Embiid. Now, take a look at the two guys below. They also had Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Now, these two guys, I think, are perfect for the modern NBA. They do three things that I look for in a modern, effective NBA player. A, they don't need the ball in their hands to be effective. 2, they can shoot from the perimeter. And 3, they are somewhat versatile defenders, or at the least above average defenders for their position. So I felt like Covington and Saric were a perfect fit next to Embiid and Simmons. And really, they had good chemistry as well. So the Sixers were one of those teams that we were looking at to take the next jump. And then opening night happened, and then they got smacked by the Celtics. And with the emergence of the Raptors and the Bucks, they probably realized that they didn't have enough firepower to compete with those guys. So in the current NBA, there's no such thing as the 5-year rebuilding window anymore. Everything now is compressed to, say, maybe 2 years. Because if you have 2 stars or 2 all-star caliber players, what you're trying to do now is collect as much talent as possible and then go all in to try to compete for a championship. If you're not doing that, then you should be tanking as hard as possible and try to clear as much cap space as possible to sign potential free agents. So there's really no middle ground. And the Sixers were one of those teams that had 2 stars, and they knew they had to upgrade their talent to really compete for a title, even if it meant compromising their team chemistry. So even though I really like these two guys, they were shipped off because they had to compete with some of the very good teams in the Eastern Conference. So let's skip down to below here, and here we have it. They were so desperate that they traded for crazy Jimmy Butler. Now, I like Jimmy, and he does have a bit of a personality quirk, but I completely understand why they got him. Now, he's not the best three-point shooter. He can shoot when he's hot, but they brought him in here as a closer. And the reason for that is because Simmons is limited as a scorer, and they didn't want Embiid to be doubled all the time in crunch time. So they got Butler to handle crunch time duties because, generally speaking, you want your perimeter star to have the ball near the end of a game. And he's already proven very valuable after making a couple of buzzer beaters, one against the Nets and one against another team I can't quite remember right now. But even so, the perfect fit is not there anymore. But he's a great defender and a great scorer, and he's someone you can lean on in crunch time. Now, the next guy that they picked up was Tobias Harris from the Clippers. Now, I really like this pickup because they had a spacing problem with just Butler in there. But this is a guy who can space the floor, defend, and get his own bucket when his number is called. So that's a great pickup right there. And he's able to fix some of the chemistry issues I think that they had earlier in the season. One also good thing that they noticed was that the Raptors were struggling a little bit since the new year. The Celtics are having some issues as well with Kyrie's free agency and a bit of a distraction happening over there with the young guys. The Bucks are still formidable, but overall, I think Philly did a good job of sensing the moment and capitalizing on the opportunity that was available. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I think this is a great move for Philly. After so many years of horrible draft picks and roster mismanagement, they finally decided to go for it. And I love the move. So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.